Welcome, sir. Good morning. You're welcome again, sir.
The Director General, Directors General present, Directors in Fiiro, Deputy Directors, and members of staff. Today, once again, is another day in the history of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research in which we are making history. Undoubtedly, in previous times, we've been having ministers, especially ever since the new year began. But today, we are having somebody who we can call our own. We are having somebody who we can refer to as a sure defense for science and technology here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, today being Friday, the 17th day of June 2016, the Director General and Chief Executive of Fiiro, in the person of Dr. Mrs. Gloria Level, is leading a team of well-meaning Nigerians that are members of staff of this great institute to welcome no other person than Dr. Engineer Ogbonnaya into our midst today.
The Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, no other person than Dr. Engineer Ogbonnaya, which I always refer to as the right size and the right style of peg in the right hole. He is one of us. Our supervising director here in the ministry, Dr. Gwaza, other members of the minister's entourage, especially my dear brother, Mr. Akinyemi, that has kept me on toes. I want to recognize Honorable Minister, sir, representative of the National President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, that are your own, and we are working together in moving this country together industrially. Please, can you stand up for recognition? I also want to recognize the National Chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers, Engineer Ogochukwu Nzurunike, present here. Thank you very much. We can't know of industrialization without the market, Honorable Minister, sir. And we need the processors. We need people that will bring our research results out to the market, especially area of commercialization. I know you have a passion for commercialization of the R&D results, and that is why we have no other person here than the chairman of the largest organized private sector of the small medium enterprises. We have Mr. Durokuti, who has been an old Spectra Tools. We also have Mr. Patrick Hussein, a top management of Inter-Heritage Promotion that partners with Fiiro. Is Patrick here? He's been working tirelessly with us to ensure, Honorable Minister, sir, that the school feeding program comes to the limelight. My directors, able directors of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, the deputy directors who hold the mantle of research here present, great Fiiroites here present. Thank you. Distinguished members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I consider it a privilege and honor to welcome you, sir, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, to the Institute, the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, the home of indigenous technologies and technology providers, to the micro, small, medium, and large enterprises in Nigeria. Today's visit is historic, and we at the Institute consider it as the mother of all events. The Honorable Minister, sir, I want to thank you for making this visit a reality. The news of your coming was received with great excitement because I believe the visit will provide you with first-hand information on the current happenings and developments at the Institute and how the technologies developed at the Institute can assist in achieving your vision for rapid transformation and diversification of the national economy. The Honorable Minister, sir, the Institute is fully welcoming you and with you in your campaign of using the instrument of science and technology to drive the national economy, being propelled by the federal government's change agenda through economic diversification, strategy, and programs in the wake of the dwindling oil revenue. This campaign is already yielding fruit, sir. The National Assembly, more than ever, is also giving science and technology a priority. And single-handedly, Honorable Minister, we thank you. The budgetary allocation for science and technology has never been as it is in this country ever since. The budget for this year for science and technology is the best we have ever had. And this is by the handwork of no other person than our able Minister for Science and Technology. He has been able to convince government that we are going nowhere in this country except science and technology is put in its right place. And because it's a strong force, the FC said he's a politician. He's more than a politician. He's a baba of politics. Very diligent, very consistent, and very focused. We thank you, sir, for making this possible. Because once the foundation is set, there is no going back. It means that the budgetary allocation will be mounting. Not only that, he's attracting a lot of funds into the Ministry of Science and Technology through the National Research and Innovation Fund, which is working closely with Mr. President to make sure it's a reality. Honorable Minister, sir, Fiiro is a very, very strong partner, a follower of you, to make sure that that vision of yours is achieved. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it will be saying the obvious that the national economy, just like most national economies all over the world, is currently witnessing some challenges. However, it gladdens my mind and my heart that the federal government, under the leadership of our President, Muhammadu Buhari, has resolved on massive deployment of indigenous technologies as a strategy to bail out the nation out of the recent economic predicament. On this note, sir, may I inform the Honorable Minister that here at the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, we have developed over 250 technologies in our 60 years of existence. And these technologies can be deployed in the 774 local government areas for massive job creation and economic stimulation through processing and value addition to raw materials of relative advantage in each of the local government areas. We have developed a blueprint on how this process could create about 5 billion jobs annually through direct and the multiplier effect. This will ensure economic independence through drastic reduction in imported goods, thereby saving foreign exchange. It is also estimated that huge foreign exchange can be earned through export of competitive products, especially within the African continent and other continents of the world. Sir, I am pleased to inform you that we have carried out a comprehensive survey on all raw materials of relative advantage in all of our 774 local governments in Nigeria. Equally, we have identified Fiiro technology that are suitable for processing these raw materials in these local governments for the establishment of micro, small, and medium enterprises that we expect will grow into large enterprises and will lead Nigeria into industrialization. Honorable Minister, sir, we have already sent a copy of this book to you, which is the investment opportunities for job creation based on Fiiro's research and development and available materials in the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. This is a quick reference book that would be very useful for the Federal Executive Council and for all governors to embark on to solve the problem of job creation. Sir, we are more prepared than ever to deploy all these our technologies in support and realization of the objectives of the government's change agenda. Ours is a total technology package, including development of both process technologies and the machinery and equipment. We are ensuring effective technology diffusion through effective collaboration with relevant professional engineering bodies and trade associations, such as the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Institution of Mechanical Engineers, Agricultural Machinery and Equipment Fabricators Association of Nigeria, and so many others. I think the engineers here should give me applause that we are coming into focus. These organizations, sir, are licensed on the engineering blueprints of various agro-processing and non-agro-processing machineries and equipment, which are designed at the institute here for mass production. We recognize the annual Fabricators Workshop to acquaint the fabricators on recent developments and way forward, with a view also to proliferate our technologies. The Honorable Minister, sir, we intend to strengthen this collaboration with indigenous fabricators and professional engineering bodies, so that very soon over 80% of machinery and equipment requirements of the MSMEs will be met by indigenous fabricators in Nigeria. This will not only stimulate the growth of the national economy, but will lead to conservation of foreign exchange due to anticipated reduction in volume of imported machinery of equipment from China, India, and Malaysia. May I seize this opportunity to thank you, sir, for signing the tripartite MOU, FMSC, Fiiro, NASCO, on commercial production of high nutrient density biscuit that is targeted at the National School Feeding Program on the 4th of February this year. The adoption of this biscuit, sir, and the high nutrient density drink as one of the major menu for the school feeding program will not only see the nation as adopting best practices in school feeding program as recommended by the World Food Program, but will ensure nutrition security of school-age children through provision of at least 1/3 recommended dietary allowance of all nutrients, both macro and micro. The vitamins and the minerals create the hidden hunger which most children at that age lack, to make them full adults that are full potential leaders for tomorrow. So the school feeding program is very critical and it must be handled properly. If it is handled the way we are looking at it, definitely the sky is the limit. We now call on you, Sir Honorable Minister, that you will use all of your office and all of your political clout to make sure that the high nutrient density biscuit developed here is part of the strategic menu for the school feeding program. The Honorable Minister, sir, I'm also pleased to inform you that the ready-to-use therapeutic food that is developed at the Institute using indigenous raw materials will go a long way in combating the problem of acute severe malnutrition, especially in the IDPs, that is, those that are displaced internally as well as external, especially in the Northeast geopolitical zone due to the activity of the insurgency. We are ready to work with other government agencies, for instance, the National Emergency Management Agency, in production, supply, and distribution of these products. May I intimate you, sir, that our nutraceutical research program is at an advanced stage. We have developed nutraceutical products which we have found very potent for the management of sickle cell anemia. We are currently discussing with some indigenous companies to commercialize the product in the spirit of the public-private partnership with the federal government, which is seriously encouraging for national economic development. Honorable Minister, sir, this nutraceutical is just a combination of two food products, two legumes, but they have been selected in such a way that the ratio is the trade secret, that is the intellectual property right. And the combination at that particular ratio, Honorable Minister, has been found to have a strong effect on the integrity of the erythrocytes of the sickle blood, in that it has been able, through its amino acid combination, been able to pull the structure of the red blood cell, that is the erythrocyte, back into position to allow for maximum oxygen retention. And totally, it is having a sort of reversal on sickle cell anemia. It is a major breakthrough which we have kept closely to our hearts, but we want to give it to you, Honorable Minister, so that it will be a star project for you, and it will lift science and technology to another level. We are currently developing new products through continuous R&D in the areas of our mandate, sir. Currently, we have over 100, sir, R&D products ongoing in our 4 technical departments. But about 20 of them are on our priority list for this year. We have continuous R&D that we are building up from year to year. The Honorable Minister, sir, my presentation to you this morning will not be complete until I am able to quickly run through some of our areas of intervention. Just like a child, we always have our needs. Honorable Minister, sir, these are not things we want, but the things that we need. 1, adoption of high nutrient density biscuit and drink for the National School Feeding Program. The advantages of the high nutrient density biscuits and drink developed at the Institute for the National School Feeding Program are too obvious, but a very strong political will is required, sir, for its adoption by the federal government. We therefore kindly request the intervention of the Minister for inclusion of these products in the main menu of the school feeding program. The products are developed from local agricultural commodities, thereby the adoption will stimulate the agricultural value chain, apart from obvious advantages of increased cognitive ability and nutrition security for schooling children. We seek for support, sir, for establishment of the industrial enzyme model plant. The Institute has developed 7 industrial enzymes with suitable applications in poultry, brewery, bakery, meat processing, and so many other industries. We are in collaboration with the Biochemical Engineering Department of the University College London, but we can't continuously depend on our counterparts in the international world for all of our R&D. The establishment of these model plants will facilitate the proliferation of industrial enzyme production industry in Nigeria, and huge foreign exchange will be saved. It will also accord the nation a recognition among the Committee of Nations on high technology, industrial processing, and manufacturing. No industry produces industrial enzyme in this country. And we spend huge amounts in the breweries, especially utilization of amylase and glucoamylase. We want, sir, your support for the establishment of a state-of-the-art molecular laboratory. This laboratory will be a reference laboratory for molecular diagnosis, genomics, and characterization of the industrial enzymes. It will also enhance international collaboration and high-tech service to collaborators to generate revenue. We need your support, sir, for the establishment of packaging center. One of the major challenges of the SMEs in Nigeria is packaging, which has rendered their products unattractive and less competitive. The Federal Institute of Industrial Research, as a major component of our mandate, has packaging to be considered. And the center, we expect, should provide direct service to the micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as facilitating the proliferation of the centers at different processing clusters. It is a strategic point in commercialization of our research results, because apart from maintaining the integrity of the products, the appearance and the attraction to the market is also very important. Honorable Minister, sir, I hope you won't think that we're asking too much, but I'm going to infrastructural facilities now. Fiiro being over 60 years, we need serious intervention fund to remodel, re-equip, and retool our existing 50 laboratories, sir, 6 workshops, and other small laboratories like the baking laboratories, the textile laboratories. When you go around, Honorable Minister, you will see what I am talking about. We have made efforts to rehabilitate and put some of our laboratories into a standard which we are targeting, but we need to put all of these laboratories in that same state. Fiiro can be a showcase for you, sir, of what a research institute in Nigeria should look like. We need support and intervention funds, sir, to establish catalytic model factories. We are proposing to establish 36 catalytic model factories based on raw materials of relative advantage in each geopolitical zone to act as processing clusters in the 6 geopolitical zones whereby unemployed youth and adults can process their raw materials into shelf, stable, marketable products at minimal fee. This is one of the fastest approach to employment generation. Your support for intervention fund to establish the techno-entrepreneurship development training and laboratory complex is critical, sir. We tried to put it in the budget this year, but we got very little that will not be able to put our complex in place. But if it is released, we will start building the complex. Research institutes all over the world are now drawing relevance in terms of their entrepreneurship development, sir. And the current trend is to measure the impact of research institutes in terms of the number of jobs and the wealth that can be created from their research results. Cambridge, for instance, has set up a big entrepreneurship center too in their parks. And so many big international universities and research institutes, many in the United States of America, where the Honorable Minister is very, very vast in the operations. This center will comprise, Honorable Minister, sir, a technology transfer skill acquisition training pavilion. It will also have a technology display pavilion, part of which you will see today, entrepreneurial skills workshop, a library which is befitting of an institute like the Federal Institute of Industrial Research of over 60 years. Honorable Minister, sir, we don't mind to name our library Ogbonnaya on library. If this dream comes true, it will be a legacy for you, which you rightly deserve in this country for your contribution to science and technology. Technology incubator areas, conference rooms and lecture theaters. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, great Fiiro here present. We also require ministers' intervention in getting the Fiiro Act as soon as possible. I know you are working towards it. It will be our greatest pleasure, sir, with me beside you, that it is at your own time we are able to get our act bill establishing Fiiro 60 years ago. I am sure the instrument of authority that put Fiiro into place is there in the United Kingdom. But this is Nigeria now. We must establish ourselves fully, and we need this very fast. This act will definitely reposition the institute and place it among the best in the world. The Honorable Minister, sir, permit me to round off my address by mentioning a few of our challenges. The needs are what I have listed out for you, sir. But the challenges are lack of adequate funds for research and development, which you are very much aware of, sir. Presently, there is no budget line for continuous R&D projects, because these R&D projects are the ones that grow with startups, because it takes time for a project to materialize and get to the market. So we usually catalyze, we start off, and they are the ones that build up into our flagship projects. For instance, the school feeding program, sir, started in 2007, when we were attempting to introduce zinc, which is a critical nutrient, into any snack, or a way of introducing it into the food of children to be able to increase their cognitive and also attention in class. That informed the development of that biscuit. And that biscuit has taken us almost 7 years to develop. We have gone through the whole cycle of R&D. We've done animal studies, we've done clinical studies, we've done full comprehensive analysis, and we have ensured that those things are in appropriate position. All of these things takes time, and it takes money, and it takes state-of-the-art instruments to be able to achieve. But when people see it outside, they don't know what has gone in to get a product out. And I am very happy that the Honorable Minister is very, very vast and knowledgeable in this. And he's not taking them easy. He kept looking at me and said, every time he says, DG, have you patented these things? You need to guide them, you need to protect them. This is somebody who understands. From our legal overhead, sir, we are not able. It is very difficult. And I'll be pleading with the scientists, bear with me, so that they can all be busy in their laboratories. We have a staff strength here of 670, Honorable Minister. There is no way I can keep them busy without funds. And it gives me sleepless nights. I used to be about, I think 1.5 this size, sir. Am I wrong? No. But I'm dropping very fast. Because I can't sleep knowing that we don't have funds to do R&D. equipment in the lab that we need to keep under 24 hours electricity maintenance. And they need to be recalibrating these equipment all of the time when when light goes off, cannot be, it's not adequate, it's not proper for effective scientific results. And the most painful, I picked from some of my researchers, innocently, Honorable Minister, sir, is that some of the enzymes that are produced, because some of them have optimal operational properties at temperatures that must be kept below room temperature, have resolved to have a timetable of rotating who carries enzyme samples home for refrigeration, because we are not sure of the state of electricity. We are looking at the possibility of embarking on maybe private electricity supply. It could be more expensive, but these are things that are militating against this. And I'm hoping that the Honorable Minister will support us to ensure that we have adequate money to fund electricity supply. We have non-competitiveness of remuneration of research scientists. Researchers in the research institutes are not well remunerated. And so you find what is called the brain drain in favor of the universities and polytechnics in most cases. Apart from addressing the issue of remuneration, Honorable Minister, sir, the appointment of research professors in our research institute will also go a long way in addressing the problem of brain drain in our research institutes. If we are able to appoint research professors based on our research outputs, Honorable Minister, sir, I think this is a good incentive for researchers in the institute. I want to use this opportunity also, sir, that our engineers are having challenges, sir, especially in their area of promotion when it comes to issues of getting their PhD for them to be able to move. Most of them have contributed to the development of Nigeria and have been very innovative. And there should be a way in which they can be compensated for development. The training and retraining of staff. Constant training and retraining, as well as regular attendance of local and international conferences, seminars and workshops are needed for cutting-edge research so that we can be at par with our professional colleagues all over the world. I want you to note, Honorable Minister, sir, that when I took up the mantle here at the Institute as Chief Executive, we have barely 3 to 4 PhD holders. How can we talk about cutting-edge research? How can we talk about outreach? The management then embarked on serious encouragement to the researchers. And today, I think, Honorable Minister, sir, holding with them PhD certificates in the research laboratories and in engineering, we have almost 40. Many more are also being encouraged to pick their PhD in area of relevance in the various universities. Honorable Minister, sir, may I also seize this opportunity to commend you for your visionary and purposeful leadership at the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology within this very short time of your assumption of duty as the Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. There is no doubt, sir, that you have focused, and I'm highly impressed, though I am not supposed to be say that to my boss, but I'm compelled, and I will make it a collective commendation from the whole management of the Federal Institute of Industrial Research and all the staff that we are highly impressed, sir, that you have made commercialization of R&D output as your utmost agenda for job creation. Sir, you shall be going on the tour of the Institute's facility, which will include our laboratories, our workshops, the pilot plants, and the technology training pavilion. before we move into our exhibition pavilion for commissioning. Also to be commissioned today are the following equipment designed and fabricated by the Institute: the pepper grinder. Honorable Minister, sir, people will be wondering, pepper grinding. It has taken us almost 4 years to come up with a revised pepper grinder, which is based on a survey that the principle of grinding pepper, Honorable Minister, which is what obtained in all of the markets, is metal rubbing principle that leaches into the pepper many heavy metals that cannot be managed by the human system because the digestive properties are not inherent in us, and so they go and get stored in vital organs like the liver because they cannot be excreted. We need to save ourselves from such disastrous conditions, and that is why we came up with a pepper grinder that is 100% stainless steel and a principle that maintains minimal contact with the material, that is metal material contact. It is an innovation by our engineers. The humidifier for drying vegetables is another wonderful innovation that has been built up here. When you see the machinery, Honorable Minister, you will see that Nigeria has hope and that we have actually advanced. All we need is encouragement. We need funds. And you know the stuff in which Nigerians are made up of, sir. All over the world, Nigerians are the best. So why can't we move our own country, where we have a concentration of all the best in the world in one country? It's doable, sir. It's the fund that we need. The humidifier is based on the principle of extraction of moisture while retaining all of the nutrients and the volatiles. Our brother from natural medicine can also use this humidifier in maintaining some of the integrity of your herbal drugs. And we have the fruit washer. Honorable Minister, in the process of our tomato production, sir, we were able to call Avant Blanche in the UK to partner with us so that we have fine finishing. And when I went to view the plant that has been built for tomato processing in the UK, I found that the fruit washer was not even half as good as the fruit washer we are going to launch today. And it will be recommended for all fruit washing. The Honorable Minister was asking me, he said, DG, is it only tomatoes? I said, no, sir. Can it also handle fruits like oranges and mangoes? You see, when you have a minister that understands things, I said, yes, Honorable Minister, he should be able to handle all of this. Honorable Minister, sir, you'll be very impressed with our things. These are just the tip of the iceberg of what we are doing. And as you move around, you'll see more. Once again, I welcome you to the Institute, sir, and I seek your kind indulgence to be very patient with us. I will not go through the PowerPoint presentation anymore. Honorable Minister, you are very much acquainted with our PowerPoint presentation on the achievements that we have gone through in the past 60 years of existence as an institution. Thank you once more, and welcome to the
Thank you so much. I feel very happy, exceptionally happy to be here. Please sit down. The supervising director from the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, our host, Director General of this great institute, Fiiro, the Director General of the Natural Medicine Development Agency, representatives of professional bodies, management staff of Fiiro, or do I say Fiiroites? No, what I wanted to say and what I should say is great Fiiroites. Gentlemen of the press, most distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I tell you frankly, you have a good Director General. She has been putting a lot of pressure on me to visit Fiiro. And I was so happy. I think it was last week. I called the Permanent Secretary and said, okay, tell DG Fiiro I'll be coming. Anyway, I think I should make this point before I even go into what I want to say. I'm not very good in praising people. I'm not very good. But it is also important that I do so because of the position I hold and maybe the positions I held in the past. Because when you encourage people, they do more. They do more. And we want to have people at a certain level who can be role models for others. Because we are tired of the way Nigeria has been. We want our nation not just to be a potentially great nation. We want Nigeria to be a great nation. And we believe that Nigeria can be and will be a great nation by the grace of Almighty God. When we as Nigerians do what we should do and work hard, because we have everything that we need to build a great nation, except that we have not been working as hard as we should. So when you see somebody who works hard, then you must praise him or her so that others can learn from it. I want to say before you, as management staff, and I believe friends of Fiiro, those who have come from outside, that the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, which we have 17 research institutes and agencies under the supervision of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. But the minister has given only one commendation for the period I've been as minister, and that commendation was given on the basis of performance. We want results. We want our directors generals, chief executives, chief executive officers of our agencies and institutes to carry out what is in the best interest of the nation. And what is in the best interest of the nation now is to help us to move Nigeria from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based, innovation-driven economy. When we do that, we'll be in a position to diversify our economy. Every single administration since 1960 that we became independent will always, and they all promised they would, that's a normal promise, that they will diversify the economy. But you know that none has done so. And the reason is that not one single administration has attached the sort of importance that should be attached to science and technology. And it is not possible really to diversify economy without science and technology. And even creation of jobs to be extremely difficult. The chief executive officer of Fiiro has talked about 5 million jobs in a year. one institute, but again through innovation. So the nation today needs a strong economy. We know that if the change that occurred last year, if it didn't occur, I'm not saying this because I'm a minister, the situation in Venezuela would have been a child's play in Nigeria. Because we have seen all the indices. If it is not just the political will which the president is exercising in taking certain difficult decisions, our situation would have been far worse. Because don't forget that it is not only that the price of crude oil nearly collapsed. What it is now is, yes, you can run your economy with that. But don't forget, it went as low as about $26, to a barrel, far below $30. But also we have had shrinkage in the volume of crude oil. Instead of selling 2.2 million, which OPEC has given us as a quota, and sometimes we're selling about 1.2. That is losing 1 million. So you lose resource revenue from the shrinkage in the volume, and you also lose revenue from the reduction in price. And the production, cost of production in Nigeria now is one of the highest. I don't want to say the highest, but one of the highest in OPEC. Reason being, it's more difficult now for us to produce oil onshore, so we have to go offshore, which is very expensive. So the profit margin again is reduced. So you can see that all this combined would have created very serious problems. So the problems we see today is just as a result of very good management. And we do hope that with time, this will go behind us. But going straight to why I said that URDG is good, maybe I'm not saying something new to you, but perhaps the way I will say it is definitely new. Because when I was coming here, you didn't know I would make such a comment. When I became minister, I was briefed by all the Director Generals of our 17 institutes and agencies. And I gave each of them, after each gave the briefing, I said, now, your mandate, because all of them, they have different mandates. We know what your mandate is, but from that day to the next 1 year, we want you to concentrate in either one or two things. And I got them to understand why we want them to concentrate on those. One, when you have limited resources, as we do in research and development, innovation, then if you concentrate your resources in very limited areas, then you can make better results. That is one. Then two, for us as supervising ministry, it will be easier for us to monitor and to supervise and to know who is actually helping our economy to grow. I also mentioned that we must protect intellectual property. Protecting intellectual property is very important, of critical importance, for many reasons. One, if you patent what you discover, your research findings, it will help investors, those who come in and they want to invest, even venture capitalists. It will be easier for them to invest in a project that is patented. But above all, we want a situation from now on when we can encourage our young people to go into science, engineering, and technology. And the best way to do it is if these young people see that those who have gone into these areas are very successful. Why should a researcher go into the lab, spend days, weeks, months, years, come up with a beautiful research finding, and in the end, nothing comes to that researcher except the salary? I don't think it's right. That has been the way, but that is not the right way. I believe that the right way is that if the richest man in the world for so many years became the richest, not because of the landed property that he had or he has, but because of what is in his brain. So if you in your laboratories can help us solve many of our problems by helping us with new products that will aid import substitution, because the minute we stop importing and replace that which we were importing before, the pressure on our naira will be less. And that is one way we're going to create jobs. And that is another way to grow our economy. Because from there, you can now export to other countries. You earn both naira and then foreign currency. Such a person or persons ought to be rewarded. And it cannot happen until you protect that intellectual property. And our feeling is that if we get any good finding from here, that we should be able to commercialize it. And all the directors generals were given that mandate. We want commercialization. We don't want research findings to end up only in laboratories, or maybe in shelves in offices of the researchers. Or perhaps, I don't know whether the DG has a place. Anyway, she's taking me to this exhibition pavilion. But we want these research findings to be in the market. There must be a linkage between research, researchers, and then the market. It is when you take these research findings and convert them to products and services, and then in the marketplace, that is the only time you are going to create jobs. And I believe it's also the time that money can now come into our economy. The GDP of the nation is still very small. We can double it, we can triple it, we can quadruple it. And it can only come through that. So, all these we mentioned to our DGs, and the ministry was now waiting for feedback. And I'm very happy that Fiiro was the first to give us feedback. Was very good, very satisfying to us. The DG mentioned it in her brief address, and for the first time as minister, I now wrote a letter of commendation. And that letter was addressed to one and no other person but the DG of Fiiro. So DG Fiiro, we want you to continue.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the remaining research findings, we expect that we will hasten the process to commercialize them. That letter was addressed to her, but you also know that it was also a way of commending you as managers and staff of this great institute. I want to say to you that the work you are doing is very important for our nation. Extremely important for our nation. Our president, Muhammadu Buhari, has promised Nigerians that he will help Nigeria to move away from this very high level of unemployment through creating jobs, rebuilding our economy. These promises are very difficult promises, and he is determined to fulfill them. And my duty as Minister of Science and Technology is to assist in any way possible to make sure that this is achieved, because it is in the very best interest of our nation. You notice that if you create jobs, you will reduce tendencies towards criminality. Because those who have jobs, yes, you know, the temptation to carry out one criminal activity or the other will be less. So it's not just that people will be working, but it's also that it's going to help us, even the social life of the country. So I want you to take this job very seriously. And Fiiro stands in a very unique position in the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. What you do here will have tremendous impact, not just in the ministry, but also in our country. And we will support you. Amen. I listened to and I took very copious notes. You can see my handwriting. That's what I'm doing. Both front and back. All the things that she said, and I know that the people who came with me, because they know that I will ask for a report on Monday. They know it, so they will get me a report in consideration to the work that you do. Knowing that the new trust, I didn't end what I wanted to say to you. The new trust we have is that we want to make sure that those of you who through your research work come up with recent findings that are commercialized, that you benefit directly. Fiiro will benefit also from it. Now the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology will benefit also. The time has gone when there will be a research finding from here, we commercialize it, and nothing, no benefit, no financial benefit will come to those who spend sleepless nights to make sure that those findings were realized. We are going to push this, and by the grace of God, we will achieve it. And when we start implementing it, it will now help our scientists and our engineers to be financially independent. We don't want people to be corrupt so that they can build houses, buy cars. No, you can do that from their intellectual property. I'm sure all of us know about Bill Gates. Yes, how many oil fields does the man operate? Not even one. So it's important, and I want you to know that we will push this, and once we establish this, other ministers that will come, I don't think anybody will change it. I've listened to the problems and challenges that you have, and I want to assure you that we will work speedily to ensure that these problems are addressed. The 2016 budget is on, even though money has not been released so far, but we're expecting that will happen soon. In subsequent budgets, provisions will be made to accommodate these problems. The lack of funds is a major problem because we're not investing enough. I don't even want to talk of enough. We haven't even started. But I'm happy that our budget this year is a major improvement over what we have had or the ministry has had in its history. But that does not mean that it's enough. The DG alluded to it, You recall that by 1986, actually our ministry was established in 1980. The government didn't know what to do with the ministry. They merged it with education, they demerged it, and after some time it was scrapped completely. There was no ministry. Then after some time it was reconstituted, and then when it was scrapped, all the agencies, research institutes were distributed among so many ministries. So when it was reconstituted, it became difficult to get all those institutes back. That's the situation. But it was actually in 1980 that by Act of Parliament the ministry was set up under the presidency of Alhaji Shehu Shagari. May God bless him. But it took up to 1986 for Nigeria as a nation to come up with a science, technology, and innovation policy. And in that policy, the main organ to drive the policy is the National Research and Innovation Council, where the president will be the chairman. The Ministry of Science and Technology will provide the secretariat. There will be 15 ministries or ministers as members, and the organized private sector to be represented with 2 persons. But you can't believe it. It was under President Muhammadu Buhari that council met for the first time. It was only 30 years, 30 long years after the policy came into being, and that policy was being revised continuously. The last revision was in 2012. That council was inaugurated for the first time in 2014, but they never held a meeting. It was just an inauguration. So it took 30 years. That will show you why we have been having problems in science and technology. But our president is determined to make sure that this is corrected. Now, with that council, there is a National Research and Innovation Fund. And that fund, because most countries, indeed all developed countries, don't fund their research and innovation through budgetary means. Budgets, yes, will be there, but there will be other funds that can, outside the budget, that will be big enough to accommodate the interest of research and innovation, because it's a very expensive venture. Now, this high nutrient density biscuit took you 7 years. 7 years. If somewhere you interrupted it, it would have even taken much longer. The pepper grinder took 4 years. So these are not things you just start today. There are some products that may take 30 years even to develop. So the good thing is that with this council, we now have a fund that will accompany it. And once that fund is in place, all the research institutes that we have today will have enough funding, because the money that the fund provides for is huge relative to what we have ever seen in this sector. But it will take some time, because we have to go to the National Assembly to make sure that when this is achieved, it will be more difficult for anybody later in future to alter it. But we are determined to do this, and you can see that as soon as I became minister, this was the first thing that I felt must be done. Because if you have a body without a head, that body cannot function. It is the head that will give it direction. So the idea of funding, I want to assure you that once this National Research and Innovation Fund is in place, those problems will be taken care of. Now, in the adequacy of electricity supply, we are planning within the Ministry of Science and Technology. I stay in darkness as your minister, but I'm not complaining. We are working. So I think even Fiiro may be better off, but we don't want that to continue. We want to be sure that the ministry will lead the rest of the nation to have 24-hour electricity supply every day. We believe that this is achievable. Naseni, one of our research institutes, is charged with research in the area of solar energy, and we want to try it this year. Once, because I visited the Electronics Development Institute in Oka. I don't know if any of you, they have gone there. They have electricity supply, on a regular basis because they have their own solar farm, and this electricity generated there is enough for them to meet their needs. So we are also looking at the possibility of using a renewable source like solar to ensure that our research institutes and agencies, including the ministry headquarters, that we don't have this problem. So we will start it as soon as money is released to see how it's done at the headquarters, and then we will find a way to make sure that all our research institutes, not just Fiiro, will benefit from it. So I want to assure you that all these areas, the ones I can't comment on, so that I will, because I want also to visit natural medicine today, and we want to assure you of our support and the support of this administration. Thank you so much.
Honorable Minister, sir, I'll stand on the existing protocol in view of time. I, on behalf of the DG, CE Fiiro, the Fiiro Committee of Directors, and the entire members of staff, hereby express our gratitude to you, sir, Honorable Minister, Dr. Ogbonnaya, for taking time out to visit the Institute to better acquaint himself with our activities. Honorable Minister, sir, you have heard much about Fiiro's exploits and achievements in science and technology prior to this visit. I'm very sure, because you've met DG severally. But I want to assure you, sir, today, you will be fully convinced that these achievements you've heard about are real, as you will see live demonstrations of what you have heard. You know, the Christian says, by definition of faith, that faith is something you believe to come, yet to come, am I right? But I don't know the word to use. This one is not yet to come. Zero, they are all on ground. Fiiro has a general slogan which says, think industrialization, then you think Fiiro. That you will confirm. That Fiiro is the bedrock for national industrialization. Your visit, sir, is happening at a time when Nigerians, more than ever before, have realized the role of science and technology, and in addition, entrepreneurship in national development. This special visit of yours, sir, coming in the year of a Diamond Jubilee, is strategic in Fiiro's history. Yes. statement, but just because I've written it down, that we are counting on you, Honorable Minister, sir, to take us to the next level. Our assurance to you, sir, is that Fiiro will continue to work in the direction of creating and transferring great research results for the positive transformation of the nation. Once again, Honorable Minister, sir, and members of the entourage, we welcome you to Fiiro and we wish you a safe journey back at the end of today's program. Thank you, sir. God bless.
To the glory of the Almighty. Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, we are very happy to receive you, and on behalf of the entire management of Fiiro and all the staff of Fiiro, we want to appreciate you for all you have been doing for us since you came in, your interest in the Federal Institute of Industrial Research. This is just a token of appreciation to you. We want you to keep this, and it is for life, so that everywhere you go, you will always remember us. Thank you very much, sir.
One of the analytical laboratories. This where chemical analysis takes place. We still take you to the microbial analytical lab. This is quality control.
Or because of made an exact center. Quite a number of broken down this is where to go under immediately like overnight to get the environment to product forms. Please stand up. The Honorable Minister is here. Here we have the state of the art. Continue with your work. We have state-of-the-art equipment here. We have the ultra-fast HPLC here. The latest in the world. And here we do some vitamin determination. And we hope to get for aflatoxin because we know that aflatoxin in the country. We are working towards accreditation, which is very hard work. The ISO 17025. So that when we have that accreditation, anywhere in the world, any analysis we do right here is accepted. And then we have gone a step further in this laboratory by having a service agreement so that they are always coming to maintain this equipment. What we are seeing.
Welcome, sir. Presently, currently we are on real-time analysis. We are running on the chlorinated PPs. Right now, real-time is working now. So we want to determine the essence of information that we're having in the scope and soil samples. So right now, that's what we're going on. Presently, it's working. So we have a standard which we use to compare it with. So right now it's about 40, close to about 45 minutes per sample. Yes, sir. Based on the method we're using. So right now you can see different things are coming out. It's working now. So at the end of it, we'll now compare it with a standard which is already, we could run already. That will tell us each of the things what they represent. I will now know the extent of the pollution. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is atomic absorption spec. We use it for heavy metals analysis. As you can see, we're running some samples that get better. So, like if you look here, there is a position of each. Look at this. This is a subsample that I'm running. Here's the name of the sample. There's a position where it's situated in the auto sampler. So each sample has its position and it's here. You can't mix it up. So they work on.
Dr. Ulmoli, Director of Food.
You are all welcome to Food Technology Department of the Institute. In this department, we specialize in adding value, processing our various agricultural produce into very shelf-stable forms and nutritious forms as much as possible. Like for agricultural produce, we have fruits and tuber crops, we have cereals and legumes, we have fruits and vegetables. We also have some other crops that we have the oil seeds and so on. But in this particular department, we process fruits and tuber crops such as cassava, such as cocoyam, potato, Irish, sweet potatoes into different forms. For instance, the cassava is processed into tapioca, it's processed into gari, fortified gari. We have the fruits and vegetables, the oranges, the mangoes, processed into juices. Some are processed into cordials, fruit cordials. Some are processed into dried products. so that we can also have value for these products when fruits and vegetables, when they are out of season. Honorable Minister, sir, you agree with me that most of our agricultural products, they are highly perishable. They have at least 70% moisture. Because of that, there is need to add value to all these products so that we don't just continue to produce crops, put a lot of money into producing crops, and yet we are not seeing the effect, the impact on the economy and even in terms of the nutrition of the populace. There is need to really work synergistically with what the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, Federal Ministry of Agriculture is doing. For instance, they are into rice value chain. They are also into some other value chains in which some of our products fit directly into what they are doing, and in the process we create jobs for Nigerians, and at the same time, an average Nigerian will not be hungry, sir. You can have a baby, sir, on what we have been doing. For instance, that electronic technology involving using hands, spreading under the sun. Fiiro has worked 12 years to improve the technology as well as develop variants, that is flavored tapioca, we now have different variants of flavored products, and also reduce the time involved in processing this flour into tapioca. We have the equipment already established in the institute, but we probably need little funds to fine-tune equipment. This is the instant package. I'm sure you must have heard of this. A lot of SMEs have actually benefited from this technology in the institute. Also worked on plantain flour. Currently, people are being trained on production of this plantain flour on a monthly basis, particularly the SME. We also have the high, yes, as swallow and I will be enriched.
So that has been the sitting factor. We have the amino acids. It's about 60 million. Yeah, this is the snail feed developed here. It is very effective. So I think we were working with Professor Solomon. He was supposed to come here and use this snail feed body.
Yes,
And this is a product of cassava waste mixed with other things, proportion that can maintain the growth of the fiber from Ghana, extracted, and then they spin it into sponya before we get it into a good sack. We are aware that Nigeria has been putting huge part in Nigeria's supply. That's what they said Fiiro to go into the production of Kenaf agri-sack.
Yes, we have this done way back over 10 years ago. We've developed the agro-sack from Kenaf. And because the bulk of the plantain is into waste, we've also been able to put the extract of plantain into fiber. This can be made into clothes, it can be made into hats, and it can also be woven into agro sacks, rather than it just being a nuisance on the farm, because less than 20% of the whole plantain or banana leaf is useful into the fruit. The rest goes to waste. So they'll be able to wet it and bring up the fibers, plantain, fibers of Kenaf. Actually, the work started with making Kenaf into paper, because we have our mandate into pulp and paper. And these are the various papers that have been produced from using Kenaf. The rest of the Kenaf pulp is what is used for making the mat. So it's actually a waste from Kenaf plant that is used to making the agro sacks. All these were woven here. All the woven here. This is the paper. Various papers, we are still developing this.
from different sources of plant material. I think they should be the ones to collaborate with us. But I understand what you're saying, yes. Thank you, sir. Okay, now still on cane, sir.
On paper. Yes.
Okay. On paper. Yes. Yes, still on Kenya. As we move on, we also show you other products of Kenya. We have extracted oil, not just fiber, from Kenya.
Those paper, yes, from Melina. This is also one of the high points of Fiiro's R&D, which also led to the establishment of the 4 paper mills in Nigeria, Jeba, Iboku, Iwokwin, etc. So that's where Fiiro started the pioneer work on paper from. But the issue of the long gestation period of trees made it a very serious challenge for the paper mills. And that's how also Fiiro came up with production of pulp and paper production from other very fast-growing agricultural materials such as the kernel as
We don't bring the plant upstairs. Honorable Minister, sir, we have a plant. This is just the flow chart of the plant. The plant is downstairs for effluent treatment. So we have developed the technology for treating effluents from different industries.
All food juices. And then on the other side, you have the dry one where we produce certain flour, which you will get. So let's just take you around here. So this is our palm wine processing line. We have the mixing tank. Then we have our pasteurizer. And then we bottle here. And then we have the Zoro. We have the Zoro processing section. Here we have our pasteurizer. And then we have the, actually it comes this way. So the whole goes this way. The Zoro leaves are cleaned. Then this is the Zoro extractor. And then we have the rich red color. And then we have the raw pasteurizer. And now we have the Kuno-Zaki processing plant. It comes this way. We have a mill there. We have the sieve. We have the sieve. We have the boiler. And then we have the pasteurizer and the coffee at the other end. So this is the dry section. Then we have the You're welcome once again to be part of the training pavilion. Here we have a smoking kiln. And you can see we have the catfish here being smoked. It can be used for that.
And you see how bright it is on the minister. This can stay over a year on the shelf. This catfish as it is in this form can stay on the shelf without developing mold for about a year. So it's good for export. And it does not have all the soothing, toxic, carcinogenic material being impacted by wood So it's clean, it's healthy, and hygienic, and you can.
Friday, the 17th of June 2016, visiting Fiiro for the first time as Minister of Science and Technology. I am very happy to formally cut the tape to declare open these wonderful entities, the exhibition dome of Fiiro, where investors, entrepreneurs, visitors, researchers, historians would like to know a lot about this great institute, which this year is celebrating 60 years of existence. May they find all they want here. May the history of Fiiro lead more people to greater success. Amen. May those who are out of job come here and then learn what to do so that they will be employed and they will contribute to the development of our great country. Amen. I hereby formally commission and declare open for use this Fiiro exhibition dome by Dr. Ogbonnaya Federal Ministry of Science and Technology under the leadership of Dr. Mrs. Gloria N. Elemo as Director General and the Chief Executive Officer of Fiiro. So in the area of agriculture, Fiiro is working on value addition. They are working on how you can process agricultural produce. They are working on how you can store agricultural produce, how you can preserve them, so that they are not only available during their season, so that they can be available all through the year. Because many agricultural products, particularly fruits, they contain a lot of water. And if you don't do anything to them, they will get bad within a short period of time. So Fiiro's work is, how do you make this available all year round? And I commend them for the work that they're doing. Right now we can now see Ogbonnaya, we can see egusi, we can see, if you want any type of, even okra soup, you have, they have been able to process in a very good manner by dehumidification. Actually, I don't want something that will confuse Nigeria. That term just means that you remove only the water and you leave all essential ingredients, so that the natural properties of this agricultural produce are retained. It's just that you are removing only water. So through that means you can extend the lifespan of all these crops. And it's very, very useful because there is growing demand internationally, the world over, for many of our agricultural products. But you can't meet that demand unless we rely on the work that is being done here in Fiiro.
So this exhibition dome or pavilion is commissioned. What additional value will it add to this institute? It's well towards the industrialization.
The exhibition pavilion dome is very important because it's going to help many people know about the work that Fiiro is doing. For example, we need to bring in young people, students, even in elementary school, in secondary schools, to come and visit Fiiro. You can't take them around the laboratory because one, they will be distracting the work that is going on there. But you can bring them to this exhibition dome and show them, the work that Fiiro did is doing and may possibly do in future. So this way the nation will be better informed about what is happening in Fiiro. But we want to make sure that we encourage our young people to pursue careers in science, engineering and technology. And we believe that if they come in here and see that many of the things they thought perhaps were impossible to do or very difficult to accomplish, that Fiiro has already done so. I think it will excite them, they will be happy, they may most likely decide to be like those who have done the work here in Fiiro. So it has tremendous benefits in terms of helping our nation solve many of the problems that we have.